Well, here we are again after a bit of hiatus. And Facebook has changed things all up, so I don't know how this is going to work out. I might have to maybe make it short and check it out to see. They say they made it easier, but as all of us have probably experienced, that when they say they make it easier, there's still, it includes a learning curve about the easier way. So here we go. We're seeing if we can perhaps answer a few questions that people have posted on other videos and on at my request. One of them was from a fellow he's a foreign fellow, not from the United States. You know those foreign people, they all look alike. You can't tell where they're from. Every one of them looks like the same person. So no use in figuring out where they're from. But this one talks about, and I had to, what do they call that? Transpose it into English. There's a word for that. It left me. It says, this space race, Edward, could mean that the world's elite are realizing that the Earth is running out, or that there could be a World War III, and blow it all up. So they're looking for another place to live. And there's a word there that's F-U-C-K. I don't know what that word is. Anyway, the rest of us. So they're wanting to know about that. My consideration there is, if there's a God, then there's absolutely no way that anybody from planet Earth is going to be taken to another planet to put our violence and our selfishness, our greed, especially by the most elite of our planet. The most successful people on planet Earth are the most insane people. We all are insane. However, to be successful on an insane planet is not exactly what you could call successful. And if there's not a God to stop us from expanding our violence to other planets, then probably some aliens out there that would. Anyway, that's another whole conversation, isn't it? Whether there's aliens or not. One of the questions about aliens is maybe one of the proof that there are aliens is we don't see any of them. I mean, they know better than to land here. We'll blow them right off blow them up, and kill them, and dissect them to find out where they come from, what makes them tick. So I don't think we have to worry about the elite people finding another planet to leave on and using that, what is that word? If us. So there you go. And then here's another question. What's the difference between ego strength and real strength? That's quite an interesting question, because it calls into question some other questions, if you will. Ego strength is obviously greed and power, and real strength, I don't know what the person who asked this meant by real strength, but there is I can lift 500 pounds with one arm, or I can lift 100 pounds with one arm. That's a certain kind of strength. And then there's strength of personality, the ability to live on an insane planet and still speak the truth. So there's several different domains of conversation there. But I'm suggesting here that real strength of a person is one who negates every label offered to them. So they would not be a man, they would not be a woman, they wouldn't be a Republican or a Democrat or American or Japanese person or Chinese person. They wouldn't be any of those things. They would be an individual who only speaks truth. Now, I can tell you that that's kind of a dangerous way to live, and you won't be real popular. So another question here. By the way, they went on to say people think that ego strength is their strength, but it could be what is weakening them. Of all the things that weaken us, that make us eligible for the karma that we get, the viruses and the bombs and the wars, is our ego. When we're born, we are born ego-less, if you will, no ego. Matter of fact, we're not born as anything except the perfection of the universe. And then we live in the 100% space of 100% intelligence for something around 1 to 3 years, sometimes 4 years, before the ego finally is installed completely. It begins to be installed when they give us a name and tell us we're a little boy or a little girl, or say we're an American. When they begin adding the labels, and we completely install it when we accept this world of insanity. So there is a space, tiny little space, between death and our ego. And in that little space is creation, intelligence, and truth. If we can get to that space without dying completely, losing our heart and breath, well, that would stop for a moment as well. We can begin then creating a new planet that has no violence included, because we can then remove the ego that we installed. Kind of a lie. We are what you might call forced to accept the world of our parents, which is an insane world of wars to wars. So we are rather forced to do that before we have any ability to ascertain or to observe the consequences of that. But then we accept it, and then we download all the programs that we need to be a trained and conditioned robot. And then we all just take our own role, and we begin, some take the role of not wanting war, and some take the role of wanting war. And you need both of those in order to have a war about having a war. Of course, you need a God to make sure that the wars happen. So if you can ever consider this thing called transformation, transformation is the death of your ego and the birth of a new human being. That new human being, however, meaning that it's you giving birth to yourself. So I'm kind of rambling on here, and these things take me wherever they take me. How about a discussion on the effects of having symptomatic awareness in an existence where nothing can be absolutely known? That question is almost unanswerable, because I really can't even I'm not certain what symptomatic awareness is in an existence where nothing can be absolutely known. It's an interesting proposition here, to where this person says nothing can be absolutely known, because in the physical world things can be known. 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 2 is 4, and those sorts of things. In the psychological world, nothing can be known, for sure. It can be seen. For instance, universal truth can be seen. Universal truth is some universal truth. A belief blocks intelligence, leaving only a followers. That's a universal truth. You can agree or disagree, and it won't make any difference to the universal truth. That's the beauty of a universal truth. It is what it is. You could look. It's kind of like looking at a rock and saying that's not a rock. Okay, you say it's not a rock, but it's laying there. Well, the next person says it is a rock. Well, I don't believe it's a rock, or I do believe it's a rock. Well, that makes no difference to the rock. It's still in the same way with God. The same way with God. If there is a God, your belief about a God, or unbelief, non-belief about a God, makes absolutely no difference at all. You can believe with all your heart, mind, and soul, and be joined by millions of people here in the United States. 70% of the people believe in a God. And that does not make a God. That doesn't mean, no matter how hard and how long and how strong they are with their belief that there's a God, it doesn't put a God there if there isn't a God. And no matter how long or how strong or how whatever it is, if you don't believe a God, there is a God, and there is a God, it's not going to make any difference. It's the same no matter what. If there's a God, there's a God. Belief absolutely doesn't have anything to do with if there is one or isn't one. Now, it does have to do with if you have a belief in a God, then it's a lie. Belief makes a lie out of whatever is believed. If you believe a truth, it's no longer the truth, it's a belief. If you see what you're saying each time as you're saying it, that's the truth, and it's observable as you speak it. But if you just repeat it, go to church and they say the truth will set you free, or snakes can talk and virgins can have babies. If you just come along and you repeat that, that's just nonsensical illusion. It creates a dream world. These questions take me into a lot of other stuff, don't they? Let's see what else is here. Would you please speak on critical thinking? Critical thinking is what I've been displaying here. Critical thinking means to think outside of all that you're presented. It actually means to negate all that you've ever heard, all that you've ever learned, and discover for yourself. So critical thinking is a discovery of what is true for yourself. And then nobody can tell you anything and make you believe it. Critical thinking is, you could call that the antithesis of religion and God belief. Good question. And maybe finally, distinction. Distinction is a perfect word, because distinction is the smallest part. Wait a minute, somebody's there. Hello, Osmond. Distinction is the smallest part of a judgment. It is the truth that's in the lie, a judgment being a lie. But the smallest part of it is the truth. Distinction is the ability to see the lie that's in the truth and the truth that's in the lie. Every lie has a truth included. The truth that's included in the lie ends the lie. Once you speak the truth of the lie ends and you have a new beginning. The same thing is true of the truth. The truth has a lie in it. And once you discover the lie that's in the truth, a new truth is created. That's actually the secret to life. Perhaps it sounds a bit convoluted. Maybe you won't believe it. Hopefully you will not ever believe a damn word I say. Don't believe anything I say. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm a liar, a thief, and a cheat. Don't ever listen to a liar, thief, and cheat. That leaves Donald Trump out. I mean, don't listen to him either, huh? Except he won't tell you he's a liar, thief, and a cheat, really. So that's where the questions so far have cut, and I think there's some more, but I didn't get them. There used to be a timer here that showed me how long I've been speaking, but they tell me that there's a thing that people can't listen very long, so I have to keep it short, otherwise I lose the listener. Oh, there's a timing thing there, 15 minutes. That's about long enough. This is my first video in, I don't know, a week or two. So maybe I'm back to it. I need to set up a new video setting. This setting in here is it's all right in the wintertime, but in the summertime I need one out on the patio with my little laptop instead of this 28-inch all-in-one. So if you guys would consider this, then I would send you a perfect life. A perfect life to each of you has been sent. See ya.